Good evening and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here on Hope TV News Watch on this 14th day of October 2022. My name is Grace Ongoy and our sign language interpreter tonight is Boniface Morethi. Let's begin. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Nordin Haji, has made a U-turn on the corruption case against former Samburu Governor Moses Lennon Kulal, who is facing allegations of embezzling 80 million shillings belonging to the Samburu County government, which occurred between 2013 and 2018 when he was serving as governor. The latest development is a major setback for the ex-governor, who is among the 585 candidates shortlisted for the principal secretary jobs. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the move comes a day after the Law Society of Kenya questioned the motive behind the withdrawal of graft cases against some individuals by the Director of Public Prosecution.
A day after the Law Society of Kenya questioned the motive behind the withdrawal of graft cases against some individuals by the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP Nordin Haji has on Friday made a U-turn on the corruption case against former Samburu Governor Moses Lennon Kulal, who is facing allegations of embezzling 80 million shillings belonging to the Samburu County government. On Wednesday, DPP Haji had applied to have the graft case against Lennon Kulal withdrawn. However, Magistrate Thomas Nzioki asked Haji to give valid reasons for the withdrawal of Lennon Kulal's case before he could close the file. Senior Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Alexander Muteti on Friday told the Anti-Corruption Court that after consultation, the DPP wishes to withdraw an early application filed in court on Wednesday and would like the matter to proceed. The latest development is a major setback for the ex-governor, who is among the 585 candidates shortlisted for the principal secretary jobs. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Kennedy, for beginning our bulletin. Moving on, Kenyans have welcomed with mixed reactions the deactivation of SIM cards, even as the deadline for SIM registration lapses on Saturday, October 15. A section of Kenyans is calling for an extension of the deadline, with others questioning the need for registration. The SIM registration exercise is set to draw to a conclusion at midnight on Sunday, after which unregistered SIMs will be shut off from services including making calls, receiving calls, sending and receiving SMSs, and accessing mobile data. Kenyans who have their lines or SIM cards blocked will have the opportunity to register upon the presentation of requisite documentation to their service providers.
Mimi sioni haja ya kufunga kitu kama laini. Juu mimi niregister mzuri na naona hiyo ni gharama tena wanakuja kuwekelea wa Kenya. Maisha imekuwa ngumu, gari kila mahali. Tena wanatufanyishanga vitu zenye hatuelewi. Walituambia maneno ya huduma namba. Huduma namba sahi hakuna mahali kazi inafanya. Ilifanya nitupe siku yangu the whole day.
Watupatie watu hata kama ni 1 month. Kuna wenye wanaitumia simu, kuna wenye wana apply kazi kwa masimu. Sasa wakifunga wataona kama itakuwa kibarua ngumu sana. Watupatie tu hata kama ni 1 month.
Tumeregister wakati ya M-Pesa, tena tunaenda kuregister mara ya pili. Wengi wetu hatujakuja kuelewa ni kwa nini tunaregister mara mbili. M-Pesa iko na all my details na tena wanataka another details. Nikisema hivyo sema mtu asiregister, lakini mimi mwenyewe sijaregister, lakini nitaregister kama itakuwa lazima.
Utapata hizi lines zenye hazijarejestiwa, utapata mara mtu akiweka pesa yake iko hivi na hivi maconman unaona. Lakini kwa hii yenye imerejestiwa ni poa, inafanya tu mambo mengi tu. Nafo kwa nyinyi wale mnatumia line yenye hajafungwa, ningewahimiza mwende mkaregister line ili mambo yakwe shwari.
Away from that, President William Ruto has asked the Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, to broaden its scope of work beyond defense and security. He said Kenya was in urgent need for transformation that called for collective efforts. Speaking in Laikipia Air Base in Laikipia County during the 11th anniversary of the KDF Day, President Ruto noted that KDF is best equipped to tackle many of the issues bedeviling the country, such as food security and shortage of affordable housing.
Having been recently briefed on aspects of research and development undertaken by the KDF, some of which were showcased at the just concluded Nairobi International Trade Fair, I look forward to seeing more innovations from the military family. It is desirable that the solutions out of your laboratories and workshops are not exclusively focused on defense and security. I urge you to also seek to address human security needs of the citizenry, like food security and affordable housing. Indeed, the broader national purposes of our public service, insofar as they apply to defense forces, should find robust expression in the work that our gallant men and women in uniform undertake.
President William Ruto has made 10 new appointments to the Executive Office of the President. Some of the notable names on the list include former journalist Hussein Mohammed, who has been appointed to the position of State House spokesperson, and economist David Ndii, who has been picked for position of chairperson of the President's Council of Economic Advisers. Other appointees are Felix K. Koskei, appointed Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, to be deputized by Josephat Colin Anok. Dr. Augustine Cheruiyot will be the Senior Advisor and Head of Economic Transformation Secretariat. Dr. Kamau Thuge will be the Senior Advisor and Head of Fiscal Affairs and Budget Policy. Mohamed Hassan will be a member of the President's Council of Economic Advisers. Dr. Nancy Laibuni, Associate Member of the President's Council of Economic Advisers. Kato Olemitito has also been appointed as State House Comptroller, and David Mugonyi as the Head of the Presidential Communication Service. Have you ever heard about dyslexia? Well, according to research, dyslexia is a problem related to difficulty reading due to problems recognizing speech sounds and how they relate to letters and words, otherwise known as decoding. Also called a reading disability, dyslexia manifests itself differently in different people. Although there is no cure for dyslexia, early assessment and intervention leads to better outcomes. Sometimes, dyslexia goes undiagnosed for years and isn't diagnosed until adulthood, but it is never too late to seek for help. Here is Faith Mugo with the details.
How could he come up with a bright idea? And no one would see my effort of trying to catch up with this quick learning that is expected.
October is Dyslexia Awareness Month. This year, Dyslexia Kenya organized a celebration to mark the Global Dyslexia Month, with the theme this year being inclusion. Dyslexia is a general term for problems involving difficulty in learning to read or interpret words, letters, and other symbols. But according to experts, the problem does not really affect general intelligence. According to the Dyslexia Kenya CEO, who also founded the organization, Phyllis Mumbi, the establishment of the organization was motivated by a large number of children in the country who were labeled with names due to their condition, which led to many of them drop out of school or even commit suicide because of the stigma they experience. Mumbi says through the organization, they have been able to help many who have lost hope due to the stigma they have experienced during their school life. Through the organization, parents, teachers, and students can cope with the situation of children who are going through the situation.
This event first is to create awareness, bring together people who have dyslexia. Right now we have found a key person in the country so that we do not tell people about international guys, and so people think it is a Muzungu problem. Now when you see an African, a Kenyan who has dyslexia, then it brings home. It has nothing to do with intelligence. People who have dyslexia are very intelligent. Would say people like Tom Cruise, Richard Branson. Our guest speaker, she's dyslexic. So it is nothing to do with the intelligence, but difficulty in catching up in reading. Just that.
Nana Gedasha, who is now the executive director of KICC, says it was difficult when she was growing up, but she encouraged herself and was able to continue her life with success.
I was diagnosed at a very early age, and you know, just to demystify what dyslexia is. When people hear about dyslexia, they think, oh my gosh, does that mean you can't read? Does that mean you can't do whatever? No, I mean it's something I wear with pride, you know. A little bit of background about dyslexia. Obviously, it is a dysfunctionality in terms of if it's to do with spelling. If it's also in terms of spelling, you may get some words mixed up or letters the other way around. Regarding reading, it may also be where you're reading words backwards, flipping them in terms of that. But the upside of that, well, actually, I would say that we are probably geniuses.
Nana says that dyslexia is not caused by mental, hearing or vision problems. She says she explains her situation when she was growing up. Many children with dyslexia can succeed in school with tutoring or special education program. Emotional support also plays an important role, although it does not matter which curriculum students are using.
40 years ago, it was very, very different. I was labeled as disruptive in class. I was not given enough time to do the exams. And just being given, according somebody with this speciality, just a bit more time. What we need a bit more time so we're able to read, we're able to understand in terms of that. But apart from that, it's something that you wear with anything else.
There's a lot that needs to be done, and for parents, and it starts with the parent and also the teacher.
The Chief Executive Officer, Music Corporate Society of Kenya, MCSK, Ezekiel Mutua, who joined distinguished guests to celebrate the World Dyslexia Awareness Month, asked the government to make every effort to ensure that students associated with dyslexia are included in every situation, especially when they are in school.
I challenge government ministries and agencies that are concerned with issues of disabilities, because you would want to put this under there, even though these people are more intelligent than all of us. But the fact that I can't translate the knowledge that I have in my mind to the exam paper, there must be another way of testing them. And so we can't take them through the normal exams and the normal way of testing intelligence.
As the world continues to celebrate Dyslexia Month, stakeholders are calling on Kenyans to include children with this problem so that they can penetrate into life and kill the stigma surrounding this problem. Faith Imani Mugu for Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Faith Imani, for that informative report. Let's now go for a fast break here on Hope TV Newswatch. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
On Hope Junction, every Saturday, get to enjoy songs that cater to the young and young at heart. Let the beat keep your head nodding.
Right now, but your love is amazing.
That's every Saturday on Hope Junction. From 10 a.m.
On the next episode of The Stars,
you do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do, it doesn't exist. Oh, it can never ever exist. Oh.
Join us as we sing along with Remnant Vision School. See you there.
We are proud to bring to you the third CITAM Business Conference in partnership with Absa Bank Kenya from October 20th to the 22nd this year at CITAM Karen. There will be over 5,000 participants from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Ethiopia. Among the speakers are Esther Mishemi from Samchi Group, Simon Wafubwa from Enwealth Financial Services, Honorable David Osiani, the CAS of Trade, Reverend Edmund Chan from Singapore, and the presiding bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Reverend Dr. Callisto Odede. The registration fee is 2,000 Kenya shillings only. Members are also welcome to exhibit their products or services by booking the exhibition booths available on the conference website. Are you ready to radiate God's glory in your business? Don't miss out. Register now at www.cbf.sitem.org. See you there.
On the next episode of The Rough.
So tumsifu Bwana, sifu Bwana, sifu Bwana.
You're a gifted musician, there's absolutely no doubt. Of course, you're growing.
On their 5th trip around the country, the judges make a stop in Nyeri for another round of auditions. Tune in to The Rough and catch gems of talents in their raw state. That's this and every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and repeats every Sunday at 2 p.m. and Fridays at 10 p.m. The Rough, identifying talent, inspiring passion.
Thank you for staying with us. Moving on, residents of Homa Bay County who use Lake Victoria for transport and fishing have been asked to take caution when interacting with the residents of neighboring Uganda due to the Ebola outbreak in the country. Homa Bay County Commissioner Moses Lillian guaranteed residents that the county government was on high alert on all ports on the lake. He, however, insisted that residents take care of themselves. According to Uganda President Yoweri Museveni, as of 12th October, the country had recorded 54 total confirmed cases of Ebola and 19 deaths.
We are asking all our residents to be alert. If need be, you should minimize travels, particularly unnecessary travels across our waters. What it means. Ebola is highly infectious. Ni ugonjwa ambayo sio rahisi kutibiwa, na hiyo ndio jambo ambalo tunaomba sana wananchi wetu wawe makini sana.
From Homa Bay, let's move to Makueni, where farmers have been asked to focus on the cultivation of food crops that are drought resistant so that they can produce higher crop yields. According to the Eastern Region Meteorological Department, Makueni County is among counties that will receive a small amount of rain, which they say is an effect of climate change.
Kulingana na forecast ya mvua, tunatarajia mvua itakuwa below normal. Below normal ni kumaanisha ile mvua tunatarajianga kupata our normal. Saa hii mvua hiyo itakuwa kiasi kidogo. Hali anga inabadilika, hiyo ni kweli na kila mtu anajua ulimwenguni hali anga imebadilika. Sisi wakulima lazima tubadilike, na kama wanasayansi tunaipea kipaumbele swala la kutoa mashauri tukiwa na wataalamu wa kilimo, ndiposa tuweze kuzembea safari hii ya mabadiliko ya hali ya anga na wakulima wetu. Hii mambo ya climate ni rasilimali ambayo tunataka wananchi wajue, ukiitumia vizuri utaweza kujinufaisha kupata mapato. Usipoifuata kutakuwa na maangamizi katika mifugo yetu, katika mimea yetu.
Still in matters drought, residents of Wajiru South Constituency are calling on the government to increase food aid distributed in order to save them from suffering the effects of the ravaging drought. Speaking after a meeting with constituency drought stakeholders, the residents expressed worry over the current situation. So far, some of the herders have moved their livestock to the neighboring country of Somalia in search of food and water. Officials from the national government promised to strengthen their strategies of reaching drought victims, including better ways of approaching water and food distribution, money transfer, and also buying affected livestock.
increased the suffering within the population, a population we know was just recovering from the last drought we saw, in which thousands of livestock were decimated and people had faced so many hardships. Yes, there is help going on, there is much being done, but it's not enough once again. We are asking for development partners, the Kenyan government, and all well-wishers to please dig deep.
And we wanted to see how we can seamlessly work with a proper coordination so that we can reach to the last person who is suffering.
So maji ni shida, chakula hakuna, wananchi watu walitoa watoto wao shule, watoto wako kwa kichaka, hawana maji, hawana dawa, so tunataka msaada zaidi in Wajir South.
Still in county news, 9 witnesses have been lined up to testify in an election petition challenging the election of Kwale Governor Fatuma Achani at the Mombasa Law Courts in Mombasa County. The counsel, Davis Mikiwa, representing 2 voters, confirmed during a pre-trial conference before High Court Judge Francis Gikonyo. The counsel got a sigh of relief after the court ordered the election materials used during the election be kept in a secure custody. Ziwe Zuma and Suleiman Mwanguku filed a motion challenging a chance election as Kwale governor. Through a sworn affidavit, both petitioners have listed the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, as the first respondent and Kwale County Returning Officer as the second respondent, with Achani being the third respondent. The hearing has been set for 21st November 2022.
All the parties go to the warehouse where the ballot boxes in respect of this particular election are held, and you place all the padlock to the warehouse. That should be done in the presence of the DIA. And then the petitioner provided the post padlock, the post. And then after that, all the keys will be deposited with the DIA for safekeeping. And I'll add that then no one will have access to this warehouse unless with the express order of the court.
In Narok, Mau Forest evictees have suffered a major blow after a 3-judge bench sitting at the Narok Environment and Land Court, ELC, dismissed their petition. The over 40,000 evictees had moved to court to sue the state over what they termed as illegal and forceful evictions from their farms in the Mau Forest in 2018 and 2019. The judges revoked the title deeds created for 5 group ranches, Enosokon, Enkaroni, Enosaen, Enikishomi and Sisian, saying they were null and void as the subdividing comprised part of the Masai Mau Forest. The court declared the subdivision of the 5 group ranches was irregular, unlawful, null and void, and gave a 90-day ultimatum for those still living in the forest land to vacate.
The respondents in the cross petition, who may still be in the forest land, that is the suit properties, are ordered to vacate with immediate effect and in any event within 90 days from the date of the judgment, failing which an order of eviction shall issue against them. An order is hereby issued that the land titles created following the subdivisions of Leio, Enakisomi, Sisian, Enesokoni, and Nkaroni group ranches are set out under Prayer B in the cross petition were obtained illegally, unlawfully, and unprocedurally, and hence a nullity ab initio, and constitute unlawful encroachment into the Masai Mau Forest Reserve, and the same titles are hereby ordered, nullified, cancelled, and revoked.
They've said that there's no compensation, but I believe these people should be compensated by the people who took their money, either through land or through return of their money plus interest for all those years. Those people must return the money. The government might not compensate them, but the people who took their money must compensate them.
Let's do one more county news story. Residents of Taita Taveta showed up in large numbers for free eye screening services offered by the Taita Taveta County in partnership with Fred Harlow's Foundation. One of the county officials called on residents to always show up for such services and also accompany the elderly in the community who need the services.
Tungependa wananchi waweze kujitokeza wanaposikia kwamba tunaenda masehemu kwa sababu ya masuala haya macho, waweze kujitokeza, na wale ambao wako na wazee wao nyumbani wasione kama ni mzigo. Tuko hapa kuwasaidia tukishirikiana na serikali yetu ya county na wale ambao wametushika mkono kama Fred Hollows, na leo vile tuko na mashirika mengine yanatusaidia hasa katika masuala ya macho. Nimefika hapa, nimefurahi sana, nimeona wanafunzi wako hapa na wengine tayari wamepata zile miwani, na naamini kwamba masomo yao yanaenda kuboreka.
I'm very grateful for such an initiative that has come our way in our community through the sponsors, the county, Taita Taveta County Government and its partners, bringing this kind of initiative to our community so that people can be screened.
Ni kwa vile mmekuja, mmetukumbuka hata mkafika hapa tulipo, tunaona uponyaji. Manake hivi nimeshawekwa dawa na bado nangoja madawa kwa madaktari wale wameaniandikia. Nakumbuka kwamba uponyaji umeingia.
Now for the international news, the U.S. envoy for the Horn of Africa, Mike Hammer, has met with Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen in Addis Ababa on Friday as part of efforts to end the conflict in Tigray. After a 5-month truce that raised hopes for peace talks, fighting resumed on 24th August in northern Ethiopia between the Ethiopian Federal Army, backed by forces from the Tigray border regions, and the Eritrean Army and rebels from the breakaway Tigray region. According to the State Department, after a previous visit in September, Hammer returned to the region on 3rd October for 15 days to achieve an immediate cessation of hostilities in northern Ethiopia and support the launch of peace talks under the auspices of the African Union, AU. On Wednesday, the United States, along with other Western countries, urged the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan rebels to start AU-led peace talks and called for Eritrea to withdraw its troops from northern Ethiopia. Two government ministries in Nigeria have said that widespread flooding has killed more than 500 people in Nigeria, left around 90,000 homes underwater, and blocked food and fuel supplies. The floods have hit 27 of Nigeria's 36 states and impacted around 1.4 million people. The Ministries for Humanitarian Affairs and for Disaster Management said in an online posting. Nigerian authorities said flooding caused by heavier and unusual rain had been building since early summer and intensified after water release from the Lagdo Dam in neighboring Cameroon. On Thursday, drone footage in Lokoja, which sits in the northern central Kogi state at the confluence of the Niger and Benue rivers, showed dozens of submerged homes and businesses. Let's go for a second break. Here on Hope TV News Watch, we'll be back with the business and sports news.
We are proud to bring to you the 3rd CITAM Business Conference in partnership with Absa Bank Kenya from October 20th to the 22nd this year at CITAM Karen. There will be over 5,000 participants from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Ethiopia. Among the speakers are Esther Mishemi from Samchi Group, Simon Wafubwa from Enwealth Financial Services, Honorable David Osiani, the CAS of Trade, Reverend Edmund Chan from Singapore, and the presiding Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Reverend Dr. Callisto Odede. The registration fee is 2,000 Kenya shillings only. Members are also welcome to exhibit their products or services by booking the exhibition booths available on the conference website. Are you ready to radiate God's glory in your business? Don't miss out. Register now at www.cbf.citem.org. See you there.
He endured the pain to end my pain. He was wounded to heal my wounds. By the scars in his hands, he made me a star. So star Nafaku smile, cause even the darkest of night produces the brightest star. So star Nafaku smile.
Just stand.
It's because the love of God is endless. When I begin to write, I can't stop because the love is endless.
Who has the final say?
This Sunday on The Safari.
Every week, all right, and especially after you've gone through a season of work, every week there's a day of rest that you're supposed to slow down and stay away from work so that you can also be able to rest. God never made a workaholic.
That's this Sunday at 10 a.m. on Hope TV, Hope FM, and Sitam Church Online.
Who has the final say?
This Sunday on The Safari.
Every week, all right, and especially after you've gone through a season of work, every week there's a day of rest that you're supposed to slow down and stay away from work so that you can also be able to rest. God never made a workaholic.
That's this Sunday at 10 a.m. on Hope TV, Hope FM, and Sitam Church Online.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the business news. Family Bank have inked a partnership to enable players in the public service vehicle industry to access financing in a deal with the Basigo Limited, an e-mobility startup and financing company supplying electric bus services to sub-Saharan Africa. The partnership announced will seek to build client base and satisfy customers as their efforts ride towards reducing greenhouse emissions and support the development of sustainable public transport system. This will assist in mitigating the long-term effects of climate change.
Under this MOU, under this partnership that we are signing today, we will be offering financing for the 25-seater buses that are dubbed BYD K6 bus. We'll also be financing the 33-seater bus, also dubbed BYD K7 bus. And these are buses that will require far less maintenance than the diesel-powered buses with zero transmission of gases. I was delighted to be told that for Kenya, the implication is even better because already our energy is even more clean. It's already zero emission. So for us as a country, we stand to benefit from these zero transmission electric buses. Family Bank is a member of UN Global Compact, and therefore we are keen on building a business that is cognizant of the issues that are around us. We want as a bank to demonstrate bold leadership in contribution to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Institute for Development Studies, IDS, at the University of Nairobi, in partnership with the European Union and Afrobarometer, is hosting the East Africa Data for Governance Alliance project convening. The stakeholders convening on governance, democracy, and human rights in Africa will kick off on Monday, 17th October 2022 in Nairobi, Kenya. The Nairobi 5-day convening will bring together regional civil society organizations and African Union organs in discussion to promote data-based advocacy. Professor Winnie Mitula, the Afrobarometer East Africa Co-Partner Director and Research Professor at IDS University of Nairobi, will deliver a keynote on leveraging Afrobarometer data for governance, human rights, and democratic practice in Africa. Now for the sports news, less than 5 months after Kylian Mbappe signed a new 3-year contract to supposedly end the uncertainty about his future, PSG are once again facing up to the possibility of losing the France superstar. The Qatar-owned club sit top of Ligue 1 and the Champions League group, but all is not well in the French capital, with a raft of reasons given for Mbappe reportedly wanting away. Mbappe has in recent weeks let it known publicly that he is unhappy with the position he has been asked to play in new coach Galtier's system, pointing out that after playing for France last month, that he has much more freedom playing for his country. Arsenal maintained their perfect start to the Europa League as Bukayo Saka's goal clinched a 1-0 win at Bodø/Glimt. Saka struck midway through the first half in Norway to give the Gunners a third win in as many outings in Group A. In another fixture, Scott McTominay spared United's blush with a 93rd minute goal in a 1-0 win over Cypriots Ammonia at Old Trafford. And that sports news brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Many thanks for the team who made this a success. My name is Grace Wangoy, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Boniface Muriithi. Enjoy the rest of your programming and your weekend. Bye-bye.